Hey, this is Notser. In today's video, we're taking a look at the 8.0 public test server, CV rework. This is phase 1, and I wanted to take a look at a American destroyer with defensive AA, anti-air build. How effective could the DD actually be? Well, we'll see. The build is on the screen. Now, I have the old icons, but in the prior version of the game, 7.12 and previously, number 3 slot would extend the AA range, and then the number 6 slot would improve the DPS of the AA. That's not really how it works now. Now, the slot 3 will have 2 extra flak bursts, and then slot 6, it has slight improvement over continuous damage, and then improvement over the different short, medium, long range flak burst damage. But I'm over here feeling, you know what? This should be adequate. I got defensive AA, I'm a DD, I can easily dodge out of the way and avoid all this. Well, spoiler alert, it's not. It's not going to be adequate, and in fact, it's going to be a 20-minute battle where I shoot down 0 aircraft. And I will have used every single defensive AA charge. Now, there's an enemy torpedo bomber on approach. In the earlier testing versions, I think the Japanese had deep water torpedoes. That is not the case. These are regular torpedoes. They just take a really long time to activate before they do damage, and thankfully I was able to have a couple of them hit the hull before they were active. But it's something that is just going to be an ever-present threat. And maybe in the previous version, the alpha was so extreme that I would be out of the game, and I wouldn't have a chance to fight back. But now I feel like I'm just going to eventually die to 1,000 needles. And, that's disappointing. The defensive AA certainly didn't provide anything in that attack. I didn't feel like it threw off the accuracy adequately, that I noticed it being there at all. And if they changed it, defensive AA, it doesn't provide enough everything else to justify it. It just feels inadequate. DDs already have a hell of a time with aircraft carriers, and defensive AA doesn't really make me immune to it. Clearly, the drop was still successful and still very accurate. What the hell is the point of the defensive AA skill? Just to increase my slight damage per second? So I can chip away at aircraft that will eventually return to their main aircraft carrier and rearm without taking any losses? I mean, it really kind of sucks. And this is not what I wanted from the DD gameplay. I wanted the destroyer and the AA system to evolve and to be more impactful, not less. But we've gone in the opposite direction. Now I'm controlling a ship and a class that, pretty much is along for the ride when it comes to aircraft carriers. He can just go after me. Yeah, his rockets are probably the only thing that's going to be effective enough, but he can still do free chip damage with infinite aircraft, and I don't have any feedback to have me feel like, oh yeah, I'm doing a great job for my team. No. I'm just trying to survive. I'm trying to help my team by eliminating targets that are close, yes, but I have no hope of actually fighting off the aircraft after what I've seen so far. And I really hoped otherwise. I hoped that if you were to invest in your full anti-air build, you should not have to worry about it. But I do worry about it. I can't stop the damage. But we're working on the Alsace. He's retreating. Friendly aircraft carrier. He used the fighter overhead to protect me. And the enemy is trying to skirt around it. It is a very limited window where that influence exists for the fighters, but we're doing good damage. The enemy moved in to take B. I'm going to try and move in. And note the situation. Obviously, these are all bots, and they're not, like, super skilled, but it's still pretty bad. We're 4 ships down. And the enemy aircraft carrier, he's still trying to, like, passively attack. If he sees my AA fire back at him, he's trying to torpedo it. I'm just trying to be careful, and enemy Chung Mu, of course, shows up. I'm going to shoot this guy. Of course I'm going to shoot this guy. But note, you pretty much have to have smoke to be able to exist with the aircraft carrier. That or you have to hug a friendly cruiser like, you know, the end of the world is coming. It just doesn't look. More incoming attacks. And I'm going to try to angle and have my sector facing the enemy, but, you know, it's not really adequate. Every aircraft that I damage is going to just go back and resupply. And this is the concern, Wargaming, is the order of operation. Is it right? Am I able to influence the attacking squadrons enough? Or am I merely just doing passive damage just to do passive damage? It doesn't have any actual effective damage in the game because they're able to send back the damaged aircraft and resupply them without me having any more influence over them. I really didn't want this system like this. I envisioned something that would punish a player for spending too much time in a predictable, dangerous area, and you know what ends up happening is I'm just trying to hide. I'm using cover and smoke to just hide the attention. I don't really think that that's the best way to approach this problem for destroyers. Because they can't hide all the time. They won't be able to. Note that the enemy aircraft can't spot me here. I'm behind line of sight. The island is blocking line of sight. And this is great. But the second my AA is actually available to shoot, so is the enemy aircraft. So I can't contribute my AA if I'm denying line of sight. So it works out feeling really weird. You've got DDs who are absolutely fantastic at objective control, and they are usually the kings of avoiding any riskful play. And then you just include the aircraft carrier rework, and they literally have nothing. Absolutely nothing they are risking. They're not risking their ship. They're not risking aircraft health. They're just risking short-term damage. I just don't like that. Oh yeah, by the way, accidentally damage a friendly. He's a bot. I don't give a crap about a bot. He was in the way. I wanted to send my torpedoes at the Dmitry Donskoy. Friendly Henri is fighting it off in B point. I really want the Donskoy to be dead. And I'm just trying to work my way towards B point. The enemy aircraft carrier is somewhere to the western side of the map. Oh no, is he going to dodge it all? Yeah, he dodged it all. But he's broadside, so I'm going to fire. And, you know, while all this is going on, my anti-air is going off. It's trying to help my teammate, but it's not really doing anything. You know, defensive AA isn't good enough. Just straight up isn't good enough in the current design. I've used all but one charge, and I've done, you know, nothing. He did a little bit of chip damage, but clearly I'm safe. He's just wearing down my friendlies, and I'm just here being useless to them. The only thing I'm doing is capturing the base. We lost the friendly cruiser. The Henri, he's dead, and of course there's a Des Moines incoming, and he's going to be completely broken on the anti-air front. And I'm just trying to set up a nice torpedo attack while being spotted the entire time. So yes, the damage output against my DD is not very impressive early on. It's very unimpressive. But everything considered, it's just going to wear me down and take me out. I note that there's enemy aircraft incoming. I'm going to use my smoke to try and throw off the attack while the Des Moines is right there. And I'm also using my defensive AA in an attempt to get rid of the aircraft. Now, note that the torpedoes still don't indicate that they're active until near like the very end. Now, I feel like they are active even though they weren't drawn sometimes. Like maybe they're not precise yet with that. And this is Des Moines. He totally want to kill me, but the island's definitely in the way. And I'm just going to watch as he just slowly floods out. More incoming. Note that it didn't draw the triangle. The little Dorito chip. It was definitely active. And yet, very clearly, it draws it based on the distance it moves away. I don't know if it was spotted by Hydro or Vigilance or whatever. But there's something there that's kind of confusing, Wargaming. Like, I don't know precisely where the torpedo is active and isn't active. Because you saw in the same game, an active torpedo or an inactive torpedo, they had the same view, from my point of view, in that water, in the smoke. One did damage, the other one, you know, harmlessly bounced off. So I would like that progression to still exist there, Wargaming, so good players could take full advantage of the windows that are available. And it's not really there yet. You know, I don't know which are tweaked, but it definitely doesn't have a lot of feedback. And that is one of the concerns here, is that I probably would not have willingly taken that torpedo if I would have had more feedback, and yet I didn't have a way of gaining that. Now, we're in a really bad spot, because I have enemy aircraft. They can, you know, attack for free forever. I will eventually just fall to the overwhelming firepower of the enemy. I'm trying to get into a cheeky torpedo spot where the enemy aircraft carrier can't spot me. I'm safely out of the smoke. We get a little bit close here. I'm deciding, do I need to send another set, or can I just disengage? I think I can just disengage. Remember, these are bots. I mean, they're not skillful. I'm merely talking about different gameplay scenarios. I'm not over here pretending like I'm a good player because I can beat up on bots. I just want you to take notice of all the scenarios, apply, you know, real game instances, and just look at the systems and do your own thinking. You know, how useful or successful or effective are these different modules, commander skills, and techniques? Not very successful at this point, not very adequate. And, you know, look, the enemy's coming back. He's going to probably spot me. My AA won't be enough to take it out, and he's going to definitely attack me. Enemy Friedrich der Grosse also attacking. So a little bit of chip damage, very minor, but it all adds up, especially when he can't take any losses. Ooh. Enemy completely gone. And now it's just me capturing this base against the enemy aircraft carrier. And this is the real damning part of this game from a DD versus aircraft carrier standpoint. It's just me versus this guy. We've got a couple friendlies who are still alive, but that's it. He's going to be able to spot me the whole time. He's going to try and do a torpedo attack, which is kind of foolish. It's going to be really hard for him. And one of the good things you can do is you can just angle against it. We know that the drop is coming. I mean, it's really obvious that he just dropped me. Where are they going to show up? Did he ever go through with it? Maybe he had to cancel the drop, right? I don't know precisely if the drop was successful or not based on that animation, Wargaming, and I would kind of prefer that just so I, as a player, could develop a strategy against it. Yep, here he comes. Once again, he's going to try and drop. He probably regrets this. Maybe he would prefer his attack rocket to keep me from capturing the base, but clearly he can't. Looks like he dropped. Looks like he dropped. Is there any in the water? I can't tell. My AA is completely inadequate at shooting this down. Yeah, oh, there they are. They need to do a better job of displaying, drawing the threat. It just feels like I'm just trying my best to accidentally survive this. Once again, another drop. It's not going to be as cross-dropped as he probably was hoping. But there's still torpedoes in the water. And I just need to sail this direction until they actually are drawn on my screen. It just is... There's just a lot of things that you need to change, Wargaming. And as a player, I'm definitely rooting for this game to be successful. But as a content creator, I'm also going to be as real as possible. And this feels really helpless. Like wave after wave after wave. And yeah, he's only doing like 500 to 1,000, but he's going to cause a fire, going to force out damage control. He's going to set up another attack. He'll probably get another fire on me, and I will have to burn for 30 seconds or so. I'm trying to throw off the shot too by playing with my throttle. But he can just wear me out. And now we finally see the enemy aircraft carrier, and I don't have range to shoot at him. And he's still slowing me down. This is a great little back and forth if I was actually shooting aircraft and getting victories in this. I don't have any problem with the back and forth of the fighter against the ship. It's that the ship doesn't have anything to go back and forth with. I haven't shot down a single fighter yet, a single aircraft yet. Not a single one. We threw it off there, thankfully. Every single aircraft that's low health, it just goes back and recharges. And look, he has one right back again. Because he's so close, he can reinforce. He's behind the island. I can't do anything except just try and stall it out. Get as much progress as my team can. But this is so not what I look forward to. I so don't want to feel helpless. Not in a game. Maybe in life, sure. Yeah, that's a part of life. But in a game, no. I don't like feeling helpless. I send out my torpedoes knowing full well that I'm going to die. And also knowing full well that I'm not going to be able to land them on the target because they're going to be spotted. So the inevitability occurred. And the enemy now has automatic AA protection over his aircraft. This is one aspect that I haven't talked about yet, but they introduced a lot of automatic defense systems, which basically make the aircraft carrier immune to attacks. Now, visually, it'll look cool, but his whole squadron will be wiped out by the multiple fighters that are defending. And he's trying to set up a nice dive bomb. But just look at the absolute massacre that's going on here. And my torpedoes, they look like they might be on target, but I think he's going to move out of range. Yep, even more. Just everything's getting wiped out. So it's pretty much, it needs a surface ship to do the necessary damage against this ship. Or maybe just multiple incoming attack to try and just wear out the fighter defense. We'll also be checking out the cruiser in 8.0. That will be on the next video, and then I would like to just discuss the aircraft carrier gameplay at some point. But from a DD standpoint, I have not felt this helpless in a long time. I'm even helpless dodging. And I pride myself as a player to be very skillful in dodging enemy incoming attacks. And I couldn't do that. I just couldn't do that. It's just going to wear me out. I could dodge 90% of the attacks, but if 10% get through every single time, I'm just going to be dead soon. So I hope you enjoyed seeing 8.0's version of the gearing, and yes, we dominate. It's a bot game. Who cares about that? But you could see how hopeless it felt trying to defend my ship from air. I don't think that the AA is there yet, and it's definitely not there for the destroyer. I'm going to try and see if the sector system improves it, but defensive AA coupled with basic firing training and sector, inadequate. Really inadequate. I hope you enjoyed seeing this, though. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you next time.